Hello, beautiful people of the highest order. Guess who? Yes, it's me again. It is Wilson Freekstar. And I thought I'd just kind of rock up today, kind of a bit more informal than my usual lecturing on self. And just to give you a little bit of an update, really, on what it is we've been going and doing in Freekstar land. Well, we have been doing two things. Well, we've been doing 2 million things, actually. But we have just been on a photo shoot. Goodness gracious me. Wow. Are these things challenging? Because I guess the thing is, with a photo shoot, that you're, trying to give it your best shot and all that sort of stuff, trying to look $1 million, and we're only human after all, aren't we? And I mean, have you ever looked $1 million? That's a debatable point. But anyway, we were trying to do that the other day with our head photographer, Erica Tanith, who we went to this hotel called Le Petit Chateau, and we give it a whirl. We, basically in the rainy hills of Northumberland, we tried to give it the old LA vibe chic. So watch this space. All will be revealed, but it was quite interesting because we sort of, if you're going to do some outdoor shots, of course, it's always weather dependent, isn't it? And I remember looking out of the window at 6 o'clock in the morning, basically not doing a rain dance, doing a sun dance, the opposite of. And so to be on point is quite challenging when you haven't been in a particular location as well. So we basically had a car full of clothes. Yeah, different kinds of vibes. So I had the outdoor tropical vibe where we were going all very kind of LA 80s chic sort of thing. So I don't want to give too much of the game away, but basically there was quite a bit of pink and quite a bit of tropical, and lots of sunglasses and things like that for that scene. Now, quite interestingly, when we arrived there, I was sort of thinking, right, so I sort of really need to get into the vibes. And I remember the photographer set all the sort of cameras up and everything. And she said, okay, let's go for it. And then Hutch and myself, I'm all dressed up with a baseball cap and, armbands and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I thought, all right, yeah, let's go for it. How what do you then do? Like, now the camera's on you. What do you mean, go for it? And we kind of just stood there like two zombies going, we're meant to be acting like rock stars now, what do we do, Hutch? And all that sort of stuff. So all the sort of thoughts about what you're going to do on a photo shoot, when you're actually there, it can be quite a sort of cold and hostile landscape if you're not quite into it at first. So anyway, we got the phone out and we put some tracks on and started to try and kind of warm up to it. But yeah, I felt really quite awkward and wooden for the first 10 minutes. But then we did start to sort of get into it, and we were trying to pull some shapes and all this sort of stuff. And, I was leaning over the camera and nearly falling over some palm trees and things like that. So yeah, so I think hopefully, fingers crossed, the outdoor shots will look like it's like in another place other than where it is. Because I guess that's part of it, isn't it? When you're trying to create a band image, it's all the art of illusion. Yeah. We are in a really expensive tropical place when we're not really. Anyway, that's the sort of plan. What am I doing? I'm giving the game away. And then we did some sort of bedroom sort of shots. Don't panic. It's all under control. We went in this quite kind of cool sort of hotel room. So we're giving it the old rock stars in a hotel room sort of vibe. And I was jumping around on the bed and trying to look cool, posing around, and they had this old-fashioned telephone in the bedroom, and I was pretending to ring people on that, whilst Hutch was just kind of lying casually on the bed playing his guitar and things. So I don't want to give the game away too much on that, but again, there's a whole sort of performativity, isn't it, to doing band shots and sort of thinking you guys are out there. I'm not quite sure what you're expecting of us. And I'm not sure we know what we're expecting of ourselves either, but when you're in a band, you have got to create a kind of media image and hopefully kind of express the essence of the vibe that you're trying to portray, the sort of characterization that you're trying to portray through clothes and through ornamentation and I guess just sort of how you're feeling on the day. And actually, to be fair, I mean, sometimes I'm feeling pretty rock star, and then other times I'm just thinking, oh God, my back really hurts here, or oh, maybe I should breathe in, or do I look ugly? Or I'm ready for my close-up Mr. DeMille. And so I go through all these sorts of emotional sort of landscapes, if you like. I use that word a lot. Oh, I'm so arty. But I sort of, you know, I want to do my best for my audience, you know, but I want to do my best generally to sort of, to vibe and to riff with the songs that we're trying to sort of give to the world, right? And I guess in that, as an artist, you sort of have to give yourself to some extent to that, and almost you're perceiving a sort of an imaginary audience when you're in a photography shoot, and trying to sort of you know, Vogue, not quite, you know, it's a bit more rock for those, right? You're trying to sort of do something, aren't you, that you don't normally do in everyday life. So in your job, for example, unless you're a rock star for a living, which is, you know, all of our dreams, you don't start kind of rocking out at your office desk, or you don't go rocking out in the middle of a shop. Well, you know, sometimes I do actually. So there's a certain sort of way that you portray the idea of, you know, being this, you know, this musical person and having this music life, which we do have, but it's thinking kind of, look, how do you want to show people that? So yeah, so it's been quite an interesting process. I do have to say though, there was one really quite funny shot in the bath, right? But I'm not going to tell you anything more about that, because when you're doing YouTube videos, right, you're meant to give some sort of suspense. You're meant to kind of whet people's appetites for something or other. That, like, when you switch on to YouTube next, or any of our other social media platforms. So yeah, check me out on SoundCloud, on Twitter, on Instagram, you know, the usual stuff. Yeah, hopefully there'll be some exciting and entertaining things for you guys, right? So anyway, so I thought I would share the process. The photos will be on there, winging their way eventually. And we'll see what you guys think. It would be interesting to have some comments down below about all that when they finally arrive.